Hello, and welcome to Serenity Vet. My name is Dr. Andrew Ciccolini, and I'm the Chief Veterinary Officer. Serenity Vet is a relief management platform that simplifies managing relief work within your hospital. It also helps veterinarians manage their relief business, and it connects the two so that you can discover balance and deliver care together. Starting with the clinic side here, you can see that we're already logged in. This is a clinic that has completed onboarding, so all of the information in the settings is complete, giving the practice details, what type of practice it is, what type of practice management system they use, providing some images, which really helps get veterinarians to fill shifts because I like seeing where they're going to work in advance. You'll need to fill in some billing information, and then you can change which notifications are sent to you. When you log in, you'll be brought directly to your dashboard, which is a place where you get a nice general overview of everything going on related to relief, and you can action most items. Starting with what we call our profitability calculator, this is a really nice tool that helps hospitals maintain profits within their hospital. So you just fill in some very basic financial information, which you can easily pull from your practice management system, such as the average revenue per vet, what type of profitability you currently maintain, what your total revenue is. You can click calculate, and this will give you a range that we recommend offering for relief work. So if you want to maintain a 20% profit margin, which is pretty typical for a general practice, this is the minimum kind of rate you can offer, but it also gives you a maximum that would allow you to just break even. Because we know sometimes with relief work, we just need to get the spot filled, and we're okay as long as we don't lose money. Next, I want to talk about our network. This is a feature that's completely unique to Serenity Vet, and there's essentially two ways that you can find veterinarians on our platform. The first is through your own network. Since building this platform and working with a bunch of hospitals, we've learned that most of them tend to have a number of veterinarians that they use on a regular basis, but then they come to platforms like Serenity Vet and others because they can't quite get all of their shifts filled. And that created frustration because they were managing relief vets in multiple different places. So we trialed with a number of hospitals where we basically allow them to invite their network of vets. Say they have 2, 3, 4 vets that work for them regularly with relief. They can invite them to Serenity Vet, and they can fill shifts for them with no service fees. So basically for a small monthly fee, you invite every relief vet that currently works for you, and they can fill shifts through Serenity Vet, managing invoicing, payment, simplifying all that process. And we found that this process works really, really well. The veterinarians fill a lot of shifts for clinics that are in their network. They're really good about filling last second shifts, which is one of the hardest things to fill because they feel a sense of connection to the practice. And let me show you how that works. You can see here in the network that this clinic already has one vet invited to their network. They can also invite more by simply clicking this invite vet, entering their email. It'll pre-populate this message for them, and you just click send invite, and that'll go to the vet to accept, and then they'll be added to the network. Now, what if, say, one of your network vets isn't able to fill a shift? Well, Serenity Vet also has their own network of veterinarians, and so you'll have access to both, which is a really unique, cool feature. Any vet found through Serenity Vet's network obviously will carry an additional service fee, which I'll show you later when we go to post a shift. Let me jump here to our schedule. There's a number of different places where you can post and manage different shifts within your hospital. This is one of them. So if I just clicked on a day, or I can even click up here, I can just click post a shift. So our shift card pops up here. This means I have a need November 26th. I need a vet to fill a relief shift for me. And so I'm going to post this out to the marketplace so that the vets can see it, which you'll be able to see later when I show you the veterinarian side. So I click my times, so let's say 8 to 6 p.m. Right here, I can choose to make this shift time negotiable. We recommend putting some information in here, like the approximate number of appointments that they'll see. Is there going to be another veterinarian working with them or not? Relief veterinarians really like to know that. And then we recommend providing just some general information here. And I'll show you don't necessarily have to type this every single time. This will save and be able to use again when you post another shift. But for right now, let's just keep it simple. Okay. Then up here, we're going to indicate what type of shift it is, general practice shift versus urgent care versus ER or telehealth. Then down here, we have dentistry and surgery. We know this can be a little challenging to find relief vets that want to work dentistry and surgery. Some really don't like to, some love to. But let's say your practice needs it. They have to work it for this shift, or you don't want the relief veterinarian to apply, you can click those as required. You can also click them as preferred, which means you would love to make a schedule of surgery and dentistry for a relief vet, but you're okay if they apply without it. So then we come down here and we put our total cost for the shift, make that a little bit higher. So we'll call it $1,800. And I want to show you this price breakdown here. I think this is another nice unique feature about Serenity Vet is we actually show the breakdown on the prices. No other relief platform does that. You never know how much is actually going to the vet, how much is going to the company, and we can see the breakdown here. So this is how much the veterinarian will be paid. This is the processing fee related to credit cards. That fee will actually be lower if you use the transaction. It will be a maximum of $5 per shift. So you can easily lower your costs just by using ACH instead of a credit card. And then this is our service fee. So we charge a 20% service fee for Serenity Vet networked vets. As you can see the comment here that if a veterinarian applies to this shift that is already in your network, this will be $0. There'll be no service fee associated with this shift, and that'll help you save some money. Okay, want to come up here to talk about production-based bonuses. This is another feature unique to Serenity Vet where you can offer a production-based bonus. Let's say we want to offer 25%. And the way this works is the veterinarian is still guaranteed to get this payment. They cannot make less than that. But at the completion of their shift, when finalizing on the clinic side, you input some basic financial information on how much they produced for you that day. And if 25% of what they produced is higher than this amount, they'll be paid the higher amount. We've found this to be a really useful feature, especially in ER and urgent care. The relief veterinarians really like it because they can be rewarded if they have a really, really busy day. We haven't seen it used as much with general practice shifts. However, we have seen some benefit when dentistry and surgery is offered because we know those can be really higher producing days. Some vets don't like it, some clinics don't like it, but we've really seen a lot of good uptake with ER and relief when offering production-based bonuses. Now I want to talk about this here. There's a couple of different things going on in this little box that are really, really useful and help when you're managing your relief work. So starting here with that profitability, that's what I showed you earlier when we input that profitability calculator. You can see that if you're offering the shift at $1,800, you're still maintaining some profit margin compared to a typical day in your practice. So you still have a 7% profit margin. So if that's enough for you, you can offer this rate. If you really, really need this shift filled and you can increase that rate and see your profitability goes down a bit, but you still maintain some, or let's say you need to maintain more. So you drop that number down a little bit and you'll see your profitability change. Right here, we show you what the average cost in your area is. So you can see for a typical relief shift, it's around $1,560. So we're a little bit above that. This number will change based on the time that you've input, what type of shift, are you asking for dentistry and surgery? And this just helps guide you so you know you're not under or over offering the amount compared to your area. And all of this information combines into our AI predictability tool, which helps give you an idea of how likely the shift is to get filled. As you can see, there's an average kind of medium likelihood that a veterinarian will actually apply for this shift, and there's different parameters that impact this. The simplest one to show is just the cost. As I increase the cost, there's a higher likelihood that a veterinarian is going to apply for it. But it's not just the cost, it is dentistry and surgery, the type of shift, the day of the week, the time, all impact this tool. And so it's a really nice feature just to help you know how likely vet is to apply for that shift. So if we're happy with that, we can go ahead and click publish. And I want to show you a couple nice features we developed to make things simpler. Let's say you want to post another shift on a different day, but it has the exact same parameters. If we go to post another, all this information will be saved. So we don't have to type it in all over again. We just have to select the date. So let's say we wanted it for that Friday as well. And then we could just click publish and post another shift. So a number of things from here on our dashboard. You see any shift that has an application that's waiting for you to review, any shift you have approved that's upcoming, or any unfinalized shifts. So these are all shifts that you'll want to action. So let's take a look. So we have an applicant for a shift here. I can pop in and I can see, okay, it looks like I posted this shift. This vet has applied with dentistry, so they're willing to do the dentistry for us, which is great. I can come down here and see, all right, here's the cost that we offer, $1,300. But the vet has negotiated the cost, so they actually want to make a little bit more. And you might be wondering, well, can I afford to pay that? I offered at this cost. That's really what I wanted to pay. But I'd really like to have a vet. And you can see right here with your profitability that based on a typical day, you're still going to maintain some profit. So up to you if you want to accept that shift, but it just helps guide you that you have this information available. You get to see that breakdown of fees. Again, Really like that we're transparent and everybody can see everything. If this vet was in our network, so if you remember in our network, we invited them. If they accepted it and they applied for their shift, this service fee would be zero. There would be no cost, and that would reduce the overall cost for you related to this shift and improve your profitability. Here's the processing fees, how much we're paying to the vet, and we can see here that we've offered production-based bonus. Here's the vet's name. We can see where they went to school and their current license and when it expires. So we can see that they have a current license. So here I can choose to approve or decline the shift. So I'll go ahead and approve it because I like this vet. Seems like he's probably pretty good. I've heard that name before, maybe even seen him on social media. Go ahead and approve. Now, once that vet has completed their shifts, first the veterinarian will finalize, which I'll show you when we go over the veterinarian side, but they have the option to essentially request additional payment for having to stay late. So let's say it was a 10-hour shift, but they had to stay 11 hours. They could request an additional hour, and then it gets sent to you for approval. On this one, it doesn't look like they have put in their information. They haven't requested extra time, so you don't need to approve that. But if they did, it would just show the increased cost for the hour. If you feel like that's not valid, there is a way to dispute it, and you just message us, and we'll go ahead and help settle that between the two of you. But up here is that financial information where you can put how much that vet produced for you this day. Let's say they brought in $7,000 by seeing 15 patients. And since you offered production on this shift, you can see that the cost paid to the vet has increased because we're offering that production-based bonus. They've made more through production than what you were offering, so they get paid more. If you weren't offering a production-based bonus, this would not change. It would stay the same. But it's still helpful to fill out this information because it gives you an average check transaction and kind of gives you an idea on how productive that veterinarian is for you. And you might want to use that veterinarian again in the future if they're really productive. Then you just click finalize, and that will initiate payment to the vet. So once you click that finalize button, you don't have to do anything else. We have all the payment systems set up, and payment will go to that veterinarian, usually received within 24 to 48 hours, which makes the veterinarians really happy because they get paid quickly. That's all you need to do to finalize. Last thing I just want to show is clicking this idea button. So we want all of our customers to send us ideas of things they'd like to see on the platform. So you can just click that button and click add a new idea, and that'll get reviewed by our team, and we can go ahead and take a look at it and put it into production if it gets a lot of votes from different clinics or veterinarians and ideas we can add to make the platform even more usable. Okay, so that's it for the clinic side. I'm gonna go ahead and log out here and hop into one of our veterinarians page. Okay, so now we're in the vet side. You'll see we also start with a dashboard here for the vets. Looks a little bit different, but it's still kind of your landing page for kind of all your upcoming actions. But we also have this kind of financial tracking tool that allows you to kind of set goals for yourselves in terms of revenue and actually track how you're doing with that. So you do that by putting in this information here. So kind of put in like, what's the hourly rate that you want, how many hours you typically want to work in a day, how many days per week do you want to work, and how many weeks per year do you want off. And that'll give you kind of a target revenue. And then you can see kind of what your current is. So this is what you've already earned. And then what's forecasted, meaning like stuff you've applied for and just haven't been paid for yet. And that just helps you kind of track and make sure you're maintaining your goals for revenue. Up here in the top right is our onboarding widget. You didn't see this on the clinic side because the clinic had fully completed everything with onboarding. So I just wanted to show you this is what it looks like. You can do a lot of the actions within Serenity Vet without completing everything on onboarding. But you'll eventually have to complete it all to fully use the platform. So if something's outstanding, it's right here, and you can just click that and it'll take you to finalize whatever's missing. So I'm not going to update that right now, but that's there and it goes away once you're done. So diving in a little deeper, so coming down to our network. So if this veterinarian had been invited to a clinic's network, so when I was on the clinic, you saw I invited a vet. If it was this vet, they'd have an invitation here that they can choose to accept or decline. And you can see that this vet has already accepted 2 invitations. And so whenever they apply for shifts related to these 2 practices, there'll be no service fee for that clinic. In terms of availability, if I click on this day, let's say, I schedule something, I can click delete availability, And that means when I go to search for shifts, I won't see any available shifts related to this day. So I don't accidentally book myself or a day I didn't want to work for something else. So just helps you manage your schedule a little bit easier. You can also change like, I'm available every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I don't want to work Thursday, Fridays because maybe you have another job. But there's ways to help easily manage your schedule here, which will impact when you're searching for shifts. Let's actually show how you book a shift. So if we come here to shift booking, there's kind of two different ways to find shifts. The first is here on the left. You can just see these different shift cards, and I can scroll down for the date. And I can see what clinic it is. I can see how much they're offering. I can quickly see if there's a production-based bonus. Is dentistry and surgery requested, required, or preferred? Is it a GP or urgent care ER shifts? And I can just click on this shift card to apply. And I'll come back to this in a second. Or I can search the map. I can scroll in, I can scroll out, I can move the cursor, and you'll see these shift cards tend to update as I move. And if I see a little tab, I can just click on it and I can see the shifts available in that practice. And on this calendar right here, you'll see that same color coding. So these days marked as green or yellow mean I've already applied for a shift those days, so I can't apply for another one. So I can just more easily see that here. I don't have to bounce back and forth between my shift applications and my calendar. And then I can come down here to apply for the shift. So if you remember, I talked about being able to apply with a negotiated start and end time. So I can work this shift, but I really can't work it earlier than 9. So I'll put 9 to 6. And you'll see that it automatically adjusts the shift pay. And up here, remember dentistry and surgery was marked as preferred. And there's this little extra payment icon. So if I click these off, because I'm not willing to do dentistry and surgery, the shift pay goes down to kind of better match what should be offered for the work I'm providing. Now, of course, I can always negotiate pay. Let's say, that's just lower than my rate. I really need $1,200 worth of shift, so I can negotiate that pay and click. And it's as simple as that to apply for a shift. You can see here that there's 20 more shifts. So what does that mean? This one has 100 more shifts. So if I click on here, this practice may have other shifts available, but if it has other shifts that have the same parameters, so the same asking for dentistry and surgery, the same shift pay, the same time requested, I can apply for them all at once. So let's say I want to work every single one of these Thursdays. You can see here that I'm applying for 5 out of 21 shifts. This is my total pay. But let's say I'm willing to do surgery but not dentistry. I can just click that off, and all 5 of those applications will go in with me requesting not to perform surgery. Again, if I want to negotiate pay because I need $1,200, all 5 of those shifts will be applied for at $1,200. It just allows you to do things a little bit faster if you're trying to book a bunch of shifts. That's that. So then coming back to our dashboard, we can see over here any upcoming shift that I have. So if I want to see what clinic I'm booked at, I can just click show more, and I can see the details. And you'll see down here this delete application button, but you actually can't just cancel a shift that's already been scheduled. You'll have to reach out to us in support. So we want to make sure that the clinic is notified and doesn't cause any problems. Can be really harmful when a relief veterinarian cancels, especially last minute. So we recommend against it if at all possible, but we just need that notification so we can work with the practice. If I want to see their webpage, it should be listed here. I can see the different pictures scrolling through. Now, let's say I've completed that shift. I need to finalize it. So I have to finalize and send it to the clinic for finalization before I'll receive payment. So if you remember, I mentioned that the veterinarian can request overtime. So right here, I click, do you want to request overtime? Let's say I worked an extra hour, and you'll see my pay go here. So here's the overtime pay. It's not paid at time and a half. It's just adding an additional hour of pay. And then click finalize. That goes to the clinic. Once they finalize, I'll then receive payment. Okay, that's everything I can think of. You can always reach out to us if you have any questions. It's really simple, easy to use platform. We've really got a lot of positive feedback on how it looks and how easy it is to use. And of course, we're always working on improving it. So feel free to share any ideas on things you'd like to see. Thank you so much.